Hi, my name is Kelsey Haddo, and this is my final presentation for CIT 260 with Brother Wright. The game we did was City of Erin. Let's go and talk about some of the things that we learned over the semester. We learned about static class variables, and a static class belongs to a class and not the object. Memory is allocated for these variables only once in the program. It is public and shared across the game, and it needs to be accessed by the class name. It does not need an object though, and it's generally written class name dot variable name. A non-static class variable is only created once per class. It is specific to an object, and it must be assigned a value when defined. Memory is allocated multiple times whenever a new object is created. So you have object reference dot variable name, and that's generally how it's written. So here we have some examples of code that was written during the semester. The first one is static, and you see calc land price, sell land, and it talks, it's referenced. Sell land belongs to, its own class, and its memory. You can see how it's going to be used multiple times across the program, but it only needs to be allocated one time in the program. You don't have to be rewriting that anywhere. Whereas display map, it says public void. To get that map to display on other maps, we would have to take that class of display map and put it in different other classes to get that map to display other places. Array versus array list versus enum. An array is static and you can't change its length once you create it. An array list can be changed and you can add more elements to it. And you'll see that in the code we've written on the next page. An array takes less memory than an array list because obviously if you're not changing the length of the array, if you can't change it, then it's just going to be by itself. It's not going to take up as much memory as something that you can be constantly going in and changing and creating. An array can accommodate both primitive and objects, but an array list can only use objects. An array can be multidimensional, and an array list is one-dimensional. An enum is a fixed length list. It's same data type, items are constant, objects or primitive values referenced by index. And so here we have some examples. This is an enum. Just a list of items: plow, rake, sickle, seed. Nothing, no numbers with it. It's just a list of items. Whereas on the public static void, the animal list, we have cows, horses, pigs. We could keep adding to that. We could change the numbers on this, and it would not create an error in our game. So on to try catch statements. So the game will try and make the function work. It catches it and points the user to the exceptions and the message that is set by the developer. So you have, saved provisions list. And so try, you have to try, and it's like, okay, try all these for, the provision get name, and then it will catch it if they're not entering the right things and tell you there's an error and wait for you to enter in the right information. And this will stop your game from crashing, which is really important. That really feeds into exceptions and runtime errors. The if statement looks for a value that's less than 0 right here on our if statement. And if it is less than 0, a crop exception in our code is thrown, and the same thing happens with the following statements. And so the exception needs to be there so there won't be a runtime error, the game won't crash, and it will wait for the user to put in the right information so they stop getting, there's insufficient wheat to buy this land, there are not enough people. So you need the right numbers for the crop exceptions to not show up, but those crop exceptions stop the game from crashing. Character versus byte. big byte stream. Characters are stored using Unicode and automatically allows the user to write data character by character. Usually ends with the reader/writer. A byte stream processes data by bytes, usually about 8 bits, and it's better for raw data like binary files, input-output streams. Byte stream does not support Unicode. And so character data, character data to an external file. So in this, we create the printer writer object as a new variable and pass the file path variable to the new print writer method. And this allows a new array to be written. This allows, more provisions and things like that. And then you still have the catch exceptions and everything. So here is the game. I'm going to stick 1 and type in my name. And we can view the map that was written, and let me see if I can, and here's part of the key, and then underneath that we can, so if I go to try and sell land, I get a negative value was input because I don't have any values in my land at the moment yet. So I'm going to get that crop exception put in. If I go to manage the crops, we right now have our map coming back up, but we can save the game, which is nice, and we can pull the game back up. It was a great learning experience this semester. I don't feel like I know everything I need to know about object-oriented programming, and I still need to learn a lot to really grasp. It was good. I was working with a partner. My partner was really great, and the other classmates were great in helping me figure out what I needed to do, because there were times where I just wanted to throw my hands up and give up, but I kept persevering, and I'm really proud of what we've written and what we've accomplished so far in the game, and I'd love to take another class to learn how to finish this game and get it working completely. Thanks so much, and I appreciate all your time, Brother Wright.